من التزم السلفية حصل الخير كله وحصل أجرا عظيما وفيرا كبيرا لأنه لزم هدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Indeed, all praise is due to Allah. We praise Him, we seek His aid and forgiveness from the evil of ourselves and from the evil of our actions. Whoever Allah guides, there is none to misguide. And whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leaves misguided due to a perversion in or deviation in their heart, then there's no one that can guide that person. And I testify that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah, and that the messenger of Allah, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is His last messenger and servant. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Oh, you believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and do not die except that you are Muslims. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. O mankind, fear your guardian Lord who created you from a single soul, and from that soul He created its mate, and from them came many men and women. So fear Allah, from whom you demand your mutual rights, and keep the ties of kinship. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. Oh, you believe, fear Allah and say a good word directed to the truth, that He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may rectify your actions and forgive you your sins. For indeed whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger has attained a great success. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله. And what precedes, the best speech is the book of Allah. وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. And the best guidance is the guidance of Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. وشر الأمور محدثاتها. And the worst of the affairs are the newly invented matters. فإن كل محدثة بدعة. For every newly invented matter is an innovation. وكل بدعة ضلالة. And every innovation in the religion is a misguidance. وكل ضلالة في النار. And every misguidance leads to the fire. Continue with Lāmiyyah. Lāmiyyah. The Lāmiyyah of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymīyyah rahimahullah. These lines of poetry called Lāmiyyah, which end in Lam, end in the letter Lam. Lines of poetry referring to the belief of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. We spoke about the Sahaba and their virtues. And we'll mention line number 5. وَأَقُولُ فِي الْقُرْآنِ مَا جَاءَتْ بِهِ آيَاتُهُ فَهُوَ الْكَرِيمُ الْمُنَزَّلُ. We mentioned some parts of the Quran last week, but just to reiterate, the Quran is the speech of Allah. وَأَقُولُ فِي الْقُرْآنِ مَا جَاءَتْ بِهِ آيَاتُهُ. So I say with regards to the Quran, what the verses have come. فَهُوَ الْكَرِيمُ الْمُنَزَّلُ. This Quran is that which has been revealed to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Revealed to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and He conveyed it to us. As Umar ibn Abdul Aziz rahimahullah said, على الله البيان وعلى الرسول البلاغ وعلينا التسليم. He said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the message. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam conveyed it, and upon us to accept it, to submit to it. To submit to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called you and me to. And His words are perfect. وَتَمَّتْ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ صِدْقًا وَعَدْلًا. The words of your Lord are completed. تَمَّتْ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ صِدْقًا, with truth, وَعَدْلًا, and with justice. The Mufassir of the Quran, Imam Ibn Kathir rahimahullah, the student of Ibn Taymīyyah, what did he say? He said, صِدْقًا فِي الْأَخْبَارِ وعدلا من بالنواهي والأوامر. يعني الأوامر والنواهي. صدقا بالأخبار. That this Quran is truth in terms of the khabar that has come to us. with everything that is mentioned in it, from the stories of the prophets and their people, the enemies that turned away from them and those who accepted them. All those stories are sidq, a truth. Sidqan of all that's going to happen. Of the signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about, the signs of the Day of Judgment. What's going to happen on the Day of Judgment? What's going to happen in the Akhirah? Sidqan bil akhbar. All of the akhbar in the Quran is sidq, is truth. Because Allah, there isn't anyone who's most truthful than Him in speech. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ مِنَ اللَّهِ قِيلًا وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ مِنَ اللَّهِ حَدِيثًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most truthful. قَوْلُهُ الْحَقِّ. And He is al-haq. وَجَاءَ الْحَقِّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زُهُوقًا. Truth has come to you, and falsehood has perished. Falsehood will always perish. Haqq. Allah speaks the truth. Whatever is going to happen is already mentioned in the Quran. The Quran is a sign that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All the messages were sent with signs and miracles. The best of those signs, the Quran. The Quran is the speech of Allah. He speaks when He wills to, and He says what He wills, befitting His great majesty, and to whomsoever He wills. He spoke to Adam alayhi salatu salam. He spoke to Musa, وَكَلَّمَ اللَّهُ مُوسَى تَكْلِيمًا. He spoke to the angels. He spoke, and each and every one of us He will speak to. مَا مِنْكُمْ إِلَّا وَسَيُكَلِّمُهُمُ اللَّهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ بِلَا تُرْجُمَانٍ. Without an intermediary. So have we prepared for that meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So the Quran, that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed, and the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam conveyed to us, Ar-Rasul alayhi salatu salam conveyed to us the best speech. Khairu kalam, kalamullah. The best speech is the speech of Allah, because He calls you to all that which is good. Inna hadha al-Quran yahdi lillati aqwam. It calls, it guides to all that which is upright. The Quran calls you to that which is upright. It doesn't call you to backbiting, to slandering, to tail carrying, to insulting. You read Surah Al-Hujurat. Look at the character that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling you to. The character of the upright character, of speaking good, with good character. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Al-Hujurat, وَلَا تَنَابَزُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ. Don't make nicknames of each other. وَلَا تَنَابَزُوا بِالْأَلْقَابِ. Look at the people going around. They say that Ahl Quran, and those who profess or claim, but they have vile speech. That is not what the Quran calls you to. Or they have nicknames, they call each other nicknames. This is not what the Quran calls you to. The Quran calls you that which is upright in moral character. Tafsir al-Sa'di and Tafsir Ibn Kathir. Upright in what? In Aqidah first. The Quran calls you to that which is upright in Aqidah first. In methodology, in manhaj. In the way, following the Tariq al-Rasul alayhi salam. Called you to be upright. Upright with Muslims, upright with non-Muslims. Not being not causing injustice to anyone. With your tongue and with your limbs, with your hands. Muslim is free from that. It's free from harming others with their tongue and with their hands. That's what the Quran calls you to. أَقُولُ فِي الْقُرْآنِ مَا جَاءَتْ بِهِ آيَاتُ فَهُوَ الْكَرِيمُ الْمُعْتَى. The Quran is that which has been revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It calls you that which is good. And I only say that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about Himself in the Quran. And that which the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam described Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with in the Quran and in the Sunnah. And that's why salvation is going back to the Quran and the Sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inni utitul Quran wa mithlahu ma'ah. I've been given the Quran and that which is similar to it. The Quran, all of it is from Allah. It's huruf. All of its letters. Whether you hear someone reciting it, it is the book of Allah. Whether you pick up a mushaf, whether it's a mushaf you pick up, it is the Quran. Whether it is that you hear it recited, it is the Quran. Al-matlubu wal-maktubu, kulluhu al-Quran. Kulluhu al-Quran. Min Allah Azza wa Jal. And preserved, protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can't be added to. What is preserved can't be added to. Can't be deleted from. It is preserved. They tried it. How many have tried it and they failed? They tried to tamper with the Quran. They tried to change the Quran. But they're not able. Because Allah said, إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. We have revealed the remembrance and we are protecting it. Hifz from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. So going back to the Quran, reading it, pondering over in it, and following that which it entails, yani of commanding and keeping away from that which is forbidden or that which is prohibited. This is the reason why Quran is revealed. For you and me to read it and get reward for every letter that we recite. And to ponder over it, which is ibadah. Which is ibadah. Those who, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, about those who ponder, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. Don't they ponder over the Quran? وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. If it had been from other than Allah, they would have seen many differences in it, many contradictions in it. But the Quran is upright. Alhamdulillah الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. There is no crookedness in it. Allahu Akbar. There is no crookedness in it. It's perfect. It's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's His speech. Allahu Akbar. وَلَمْ نَجْعَلْ لَهُ عِوَجًا. Because قيّم, قيّما, it is upright, it is straight, and it is calls you to all that which is good, and keeps you away, calls you away from all that will harm you. Allah makes haram the khaba'ith. يُحَرِّمُ عَلَيْكُمُ الْخَبَائِثِ. He makes haram for you the evil things that will harm you. It's all in the Quran, everything. And so we as Ahl Sunnah have to believe the Quran is the speech of Allah. That He speaks when He wills, to whomsoever He wills, and He says what He wills. Befitting His great majesty. And we go back to the Quran by following the Quran. وَأَقُولُ قَالَ اللَّهُ جَلَّ جَلَالُهُ وَالْمُصْطَفَى الْهَادِي وَلَا أَتَأَوَّلُ. Yes, this is the Muslim goes forward upon guidance. He says, قَالَ اللَّهُ قَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. He says what Allah said, and the Messenger ﷺ said. If he wants guidance, in these two he holds on to. He bites onto the Sunnah with his molar teeth. عَضُّ عَلَيْهَا بِالنَّوَاجِدِ, as the Messenger ﷺ said in the hadith of Irbad ibn Sariyah, which is reported in Muslim Imam Ahmad, and it's reported in Sunan ibn Majah, and it's reported in Sunan Abi Dawood, Kutub al-Sunan, famous hadith, a well-known hadith, which is Hasan al-Shawahid, and it's a good chain that is supported by so many different words, so many different from so many different books of hadith is recorded in there. وَأَقُولُ قَالَ اللَّهُ جَلَّ جَلَالُهُ وَالْمُصْطَفَى الْهَادِي وَلَا أَتَأَوَّلُ وَلَا أَتَأَوَّلُ. I don't go and explain the Quran according to my desires, according to my whims and desires. Look at the last part of Usul al-Tafsir of Ibn Taymīyyah, where he mentioned the Sahaba, how they used to be fearful in speaking about the Book of Allah without knowledge. Or even adding, or even speaking, or even mentioning anything they didn't know. Or that they knew but they didn't want to delve into further. When it was said to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, what is the meaning of Abba? وَفَاكِهَةً وَأَبَّا in Surah Al-Abasa. He said, of course, he knows the meaning. As Ibn Taymīyyah said, and Shaykh Ibn Taymīyyah rahimahullah clarified, it's not that Abu Bakr as-Siddiq didn't know the meaning of Abba, referring to plants, fakihatan, referring to fruit, and Abba, plants. It's not that he didn't know the meaning of Abba, but he didn't want to delve into it. He didn't want to delve into that which will, which the Sahaba never used to delve into. Like you find nowadays, people delving into affairs they shouldn't be delving into. He knew the word Abba, but now delving into it and saying where it's from, which particular plant it is, what is the name of the plant, or he never delved into that. And he didn't want to delve into that. He said, what sky will shade me or cover me? And what land or earth will hold me that I speak about the book of Allah without knowledge? Look at the humility of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. Not these arrogant people that you find nowadays. They say, I have a PhD and I have an A grade and I have this and I have... Look at the arrogance people nowadays. You find with this individual now, I have this and I have that and I'm the best and I'm the most prominent and it's unbelievable and it's a no-brainer. And Ya akhi, go back to sleep, Ya akhi. Go back and learn your deen, Ya akhi. Speak about the book of, speak about you praising yourself like that. Does Allah call you to that? Allah said, وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا إِنَّكَ لَن تَخْرِقَ الْأَرْضَ وَلَن تَبْلُغَ الْجِبَالَ طُولًا. Don't go in the land full of pride. You didn't penetrate all of the earth, nor did you reach the mountain in heights. What have you been arrogant for? And Shaykh Rabi' Hafidhullah said a beautiful statement when he's explained Surah Al-Luqman. He said, what is there to be arrogant for anyway? Don't you use the toilet every day? So why are you being arrogant? And he mentioned another beautiful point. He said, where were you created from? Min ma'in mahin. From a weak fluid. That's you and me. Created from a weak fluid. What are you being arrogant for? If that weak fluid were to go on your clothes, you would want to get rid of it. You would scrape it. You're shy that people will see it. Subhanallah. And you're arrogant like that? After you reach a certain age, and you're walking and you're talking, you feel that you're saved, you feel that you are, but you're praising yourself. Not even mashallah, just like, I'm this and I'm that and I've done this and I've got that and there's no one got any grade like me and I'm. Man anta ya akhi. Man ant. This is what Quran calls it to. وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ مُخْتَالٍ فَخُورٍ. Don't go in the land full of pride. Allah doesn't love every arrogant, boastful person. That's arrogance, wallah. A'udhu billah min al-kibr. And the worst kibr, you know what the worst kibr is? Is you're arrogant from accepting the book of Allah. Arrogant from accepting that which Allah calls you to. Because it's arrogance that happens between man and man, and between people. He says, I'm this and I'm that and I'm better than you and I'm khayr, the arrogance of Iblis. Ana khayru minhu, khalaqtani min nari wa khalaqtahu min tin. By arrogance that you reject the book of Allah. Arrogance that you don't even accept that which Allah mentioned in the Quran, Surah Al-Kahf, Allah mentioned about Ya'juj and Ma'juj. You don't want to accept that? There's arrogance there. What kind of arrogance is that? That is serious arrogance. It's inad and kibr. Allah protect us from this deviation, wallah. اللهم لا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك غفور رحيم. No, Allah, do not make us hate those who came before us, the Sahaba, and that we love them, not oppose them. You love someone, you follow them. وَلَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا. This is the supplication we say. Oh Allah, do not make our hearts deviate after you guided us. Because deviation is darkness, wallah. Deviation, you think that you are not in need of Allah anymore. Whereas Rasulullah used to say, وَلَا تَكِلْنِي إِلَى نَفْسِي طَرْفَةَ عَيْنٍ. Do not leave me to myself the blink of an eye. Subhanallah, هَكَذَا Rasulullah كَانَ مُتَوَاضِعًا. He was humble. Alayhi salatu wassalam. You can go around looking at the numbers. وَقَلِيلٌ مِّنْ عِبَادِيَ الشَّكُورِ. Few of my slaves are grateful. لَن تَجِدَ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ وَلَوْ حَرَصْتَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. You will not find most of mankind, even if you try. You will not find them as being true believers. Most of mankind is stray. It's not about, I did a lecture and there's 100,000 people there. So what? I did a lecture, 50,000 people were there. So what? Was it about clicks? Oh, I got so many followers. 1 million people looked at my... So what? 1 million people misguided through you. That's worse for you. 1 million people are confused. Or you're confusing them. So stick to the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do not be deluded by deviated people who are deluded themselves, misguided and they misguide others. And when they speak, subhanallah, ما في قال الله قال رسول الله, hardly you hear that. Just say, I am, أنا فعلت وأنا سويت وأنا عملت وأنا يا أخي من أنت؟ أنت عبد من عباد الله فقط. You're just a slave from the slaves of Allah like the rest of us. And if you're humble, Allah will raise you. من تواضع لا رفعه الله. But if you're not humble, the opposite is true. If you're arrogant, Allah will debase you. Because He is Al-Aziz, subhanahu wa ta'ala. يعز من يشاء ويذل من يشاء. He raises whom He wills and He debases whom He wills. And He's the guide. He doesn't need you. You need Him. We all need Him. We all need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we say, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Quran calls you to that. To humble yourself to follow the Quran. To humble yourself to follow the Sunnah. If you want to be humble, follow the Quran and Sunnah. That's where humility lies. You don't start praising yourself, I'm this and I'm that. Another one is, I'm a mufti and I'm this. Well, who said that? Sahaba used to be afraid of giving fatwa. And be cautious. And yes, they would speak with knowledge. But they would be afraid of just speaking much. Rather, their speech was little, was few, with much meaning, with great meaning. And it was careful speech. In accordance. Look, Imam Malik rahimahullah. From those that described Imam Malik from his students, they mentioned that even when he would mention a hadith, he would go and do wudu. He would prepare for the hadith. Just by doing wudu and preparing. And before he would say, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, his face would change and become perturbed. Face would change. And because now he's saying the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. As for these arrogant individuals who go around with their own opinion, thinking their opinion is above everything else, or thinking their opinion, they're amazed with their opinions. Subhanallah. Salaf were not like that. One of the Salaf, pious predecessors, from his biographies, when he went past and he heard a storyteller lying about the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this Salafi scholar started plucking his hair from his armpit. People say, what are you doing, plucking your hair under your armpit while the Shaykh is speaking? He said, what he's doing is lying upon the Sunnah. What I'm doing is the Sunnah. That's how the Salaf used to be. That's how they used to be in front of the storytellers. The Prophet ﷺ said, Inna Bani Israel lamma qassu halaku, or lamma halaku qassu. The Bani Israel, those who came before us and they went astray, Bani Israel, the children of Israel, yani the previous nations who came before us, when they turned to storytelling, they became destroyed. And this is what we find nowadays with these amazed people with themselves. They are storytellers. They are storytellers. And they insult the people of Sunnah. Is this what the Quran calls you to? Did the Quran call you to insult the believers? Did the Quran call you to that? Or did the Quran call you to speak well of the people of knowledge? Allah raised them. He didn't raise you. Allah raised them. يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. Raise them with what? With the Quran and the Sunnah. This is what Allah raises a person with. The Quran and the Sunnah. Not raise you with your aql. I remember a statement from Shaykh Ubayd al-Jabri, hafidhullah. He said, when you see a title and you have in the title, Islamic thinker, Al-Mufakkir al-Islami, which many of these like to call themselves, Al-Mufakkir al-Islami. He said, be careful. When you see someone like that, be careful. Know that this is a deviation. Islam, we don't have Islamic thinkers. We have Islam scholars that follow the Quran and Sunnah, not thinkers that go around denying what the Book of Allah says and going against what the Book of Allah, denying and saying, I can't really get my brain to think about how the Yajuj will be exist, how they can exist. SubhanAllah. Can't get your brain around it. Islam is not about thinking. The thinking that you're thinking about. Islam is about ittiba'. Yes, thinking of other things. It's not any of the dunya affairs. You think, you try and manage your affairs of the dunya. That's not an issue. But the fundamentals of this deen is not about you thinking about how it should work. Fundamentals of this deen have already been established. The umur of iman and what you should believe in is already been established. It's not left to your thinking to think how I should believe in Allah, how I should believe in the angels, how I should believe in the... It's not about your thinking when it comes to the belief of Islam. The belief of Islam is already established. Thinking, use it for when you want to buy a car and what you want to buy. Thinking, use it for other things of your dunya. But what constitutes Islam is already established. And some of the scholars, they say the aql as-salim goes in accordance with the Quran and Sunnah anyway. The sane person who thinks correctly is the one who's going to follow the Quran and Sunnah. Because why? He's going back to his fitrah. He's going back to his natural inclination to accept the truth. But your thinking of going against the Quran and the Sunnah, this is the thinking that is dispraised. Because you're going against the Book of Allah. And you're going against the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this line, وَأَقُولُ قَالَ اللَّهُ جَلَّ جَلَالُهُ وَالْمُصْطَفَى الْهَادِي وَلَا أَتَأَوَّلُ. Don't start making it up as I go along. Bring my own opinions. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu said, leave your opinion in your pocket. Leave your opinion in your pocket. This deen is ittiba'. وَاتَّبِعُوهُ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَهْتَدُونَ. And follow him that you may be guided. وَاتَّبِعُوهُ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. And follow him that you may be given mercy. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِ يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Say if you truly love Allah, then follow me, follow the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah will love you and forgive you your sins. And Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. Follow the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is your and my guide. Follow him. وَمَا أَتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. Whatever the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam gives you, take it. Whatever he forbids you from, keep away from. Stop, desist. قُلْ أَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ وَأُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ. Obey Allah and obey the Messenger and those in authority over you. قُلْ أَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ وَلَا تَوَلَّوْا عَنْهُ وَأَنْتُمْ تَسْمَعُونَ. Say, obey Allah and obey the Messenger and do not turn away from him while you are listening. وَإِن تُطِيعُهُ تَهْتَدُوا. Surah Nur. And if you follow him, you will be truly guided. If you obey him, you will be guided. SubhanAllah. Sahaba were different. Wallah. Sahaba, the best people ever to be from this nation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were the best people. Look at Ali radiallahu anhu in the hadith, which is in Kalim al-Tayyib of Ibn Taymīyyah. And Shaykh Albani's got a nice summarized version called Sahih Kalim al-Tayyib. And in there you find this hadith of Rukub al-Dabba. The dua when you go on a form of transport, whether it's a riding beast, whether it's a car, whether it's a plane, whether it's a train, whatever that form of transport is, you say this dua. And the dua contains that verse, Subhanalladhi safana hada wa ma kunna lahu muqrin wa inna ila rabbina lamunqalibun. The last part of the dua that Ali radhiallahu anhu said, فَاغْفِرْ لِي فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا أَنْتَ. Oh Allah, forgive me, for none forgives but you. None forgives but you. And then he smiled. They said to him, they said to Ali radhiallahu anhu, why did you smile after saying this dua? He says, well, I saw Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam smile, so I smiled after saying it. I saw him smile after saying it, so I smiled after saying it. Look, ittiba'. This is how much they loved Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they went to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they said, Ya Rasulullah, you smile after saying this dua. Why is it that you smile after saying this? He said, because Allah loves those who say, فَاغْفِرْ لِي فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا أَنْتَ. Oh Allah, forgive me, for none forgives but you. Because Allah knows none can forgive but him. Then he smiled. And likewise, when we say this dua and we go on a form of transport, we smile. Following the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And of course, if you're going on a journey, then the dua for the musafir. These are examples of how the Sahaba they used to love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they really used to make their own ta'weel, explanation, different than the Sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Their explanation was in accordance with the explanation of the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he supplicated for the likes of Abdullah ibn Abbas and said to him, Allahumma faqqihu fi din wa alimhu ta'weel. Oh Allah, give him understand the religion and teach him the explanation, the tafsir. They didn't go around explaining the Quran as they go along, or explaining the Sunnah as they go along. Rather, they were careful. And none we find them saying we don't believe in Ya'juj and Ma'juj. You find any Sahaba saying this? Or that we have some doubt regards the Quran, meaning the Quran is not preserved. No, none of them said that. The Quran is preserved by ijma', by the preservation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and by the ijma' of the Sahaba coming together in unity. And that is deen. أمتي لا تجتمع على الضلالة. حديث حسن للشواهد. And the Quran is preserved, the book of Allah. From it began, to him it will return. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This matter here, this line number 6, wallah, this is a whole lecture. And this one is our whole life. It's a struggle to be upon the Quran and Sunnah. Our whole life has to be learning the Quran, learning to read it, learning to this tafsir. This is your whole life, Ya Abdullah. Learning the tafsir, especially that which you need for your salah, tafsir al-Fatiha. And learning the Sunnah, going through the ahadith, the authentic narrations. Look what Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah did in gathering the authentic narrations, in clarifying them for us. Look at the A'imma of the past, what they did in their striving and their preserving of the aqeedah of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, which this individual, these arrogant individuals go around causing doubts. And look who they praise. They end up praising the Sufis and the Ikhwanis. They praise everyone else but the people of Sunnah. People of Sunnah, they're the biggest enemies to them. Why? Because they love the Sunnah. Because they hold on to the Sunnah with their Mawlatif. Why are you speaking about the people of Sunnah? The Sunnah, as Imam Malik rahimahullah said, is like the Ark of Noah. Whoever boards it is saved. The ones that are not saved are those that don't hold on to the Sunnah. They're the ones that are not saved. The ones that are upon bid'ah, they're the ones you praise. The ones who gather in a gathering and they say, Madad ya Rasulullah, help us, O Messenger of Allah. They're the ones you praise. So how do you judge? كيف تحكمون أم لكم كتاب فيه تدرسون? How do you judge? You have a book that you study other than the Quran. What is it that you're studying then? What is it that you're studying? This is why the Salaf, they used to warn against sitting with the people of bid'ah, sitting with the people of innovation, because of their doubts that they spread. As for the people of Sunnah, wallahi, you hear from them, they're the happiest people, because all you hear from them is, قال الله تعالى, قال رسول الله, صلى الله عليه. They send salat on the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam daily. They're reading the hadith daily. Then they're reading the Quran daily. They're reading, they love the حدثنا وأخبرنا رسول. Allahu Akbar. They love the Sunnah. They love the speech of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They love his example. They love his guidance, because the best guidance is the guidance of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's the best guidance. Alayhi salatu wassalam. They love him and they follow him and they emulate him and they practice that which he practiced. They pray as he prayed. Sallu kama ra'aytumuna usalli. Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. When they go for Hajj, Khudu anni manasikakum, take from me the Hajj rites. Islam is not stories that are based upon your life and your delusions and your illusions about yourself. Islam is ittiba' of the Sunnah. That's what we aspire for, is following the best people. And the best example, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and following his companions alayhi salatu wasalam, they were the best example. After him sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and their students, and then their students. Didn't Allah say, وَالسَّابِقُونَ الْأَوَّلُونَ مِنَ الْمُهَاجِرِينَ وَالْأَنصَارِ وَالَّذِينَ تَبَعُهُمْ بِإِحْسَانٍ, those who follow them upon righteousness. They're the ones we look up to. You don't speak out against them, you lie about them. You're speaking out against them in a horrible way. Those who revive the deen as a whole. Look at the much khair that they spread. Ibn Taymīyyah rahimahullah calling to Tawheed. That's what he called to. Before him, Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, the Mujaddid al-Awwal. Mujaddid al-Thani, Shaykh al-Islam Taymīyyah rahimahullah. Then thereafter, the Mujaddid al-Thalith, Shaykh Islam Muhammad Abdul Wahhab rahimahullah. What are you speaking about him for? In an abhorrent way. Who spread Tawheed. Look at his books. قال الله, قال رسول الله, قال Sahaba. All the way through. Look at his books. Calling to Tawheed, away from grave worshipping, away from shirk, which is the severest of sins. Leveling the grave so that people do not exonerate them and pray to them and call upon the dead. This is the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, hadith Sahih Muslim. And Abi Hayyaj al-Asli, the tabi'i, who said, قال لعلي ابن أبي طالب رضي الله عنه ألا أبعثك على ما بعثني الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم ألا تدع تمثالا إلا طمسته ولا قبرا مشرفا إلا سويته. Shall I not tell you, Ali radiallahu anhu said to him, shall I not tell you what the Prophet sent me with? That you do not leave a grave that is above the ground, except that you level it. And you do not leave an ornament, except that you disfigure it. Meaning that you don't leave these statues except that you disfigure those that you own, those that you have in your presence. So may Allah protect us, that we go back to the Quran Sunnah. This is back to basics. This is back to the asl. This is where salvation lies. وَأَنْتُمْ الْعَلَوْنَ إِن كُنْتُمْ مُؤْمِنِينَ. You will be uppermost if you are true believers. إِن تَنْصُرُوا اللَّهَ يَنْصُرْكُمْ يُثَبِّتْ أَقْدَامَكُمْ. If you aid Allah and His deen, He will aid you and make your feet firmly established. Going back to Tawheed, this is where the promise of Allah that will come, of victory and aid and happiness. وَلَا يَنْصُرُنَّ اللَّهَ مَنْ يَنْصُرُهُ. Of a surety, no doubt Allah will give you victory if you give victory to His deen. وعد الله الذين آمنوا منكم وعملوا الصالحات لا يستخلفنهم في الأرض كما استخلف الذين من قبلهم ولا يمكنن لهم دينهم الذي ارتضى لهم ولا يبدلنهم من بعد خوفهم أمنا يعبدونني لا يشركون بي شيئا. Allah's promises to amongst those who believe and do righteous deeds, that He will change their state of fear to that of security, and He will make their deen firmly, or their feet firmly established and rooted upon that which is made pleasing for them. What is the condition of these people? يعبدونني لا يشركون بي شيئا. They worship me and they do not associate partners with me in anything. What did Allah say in the last part of Surah Al-Furqan? قُلْ مَا يَعْبَأُ بِكُمْ رَبِّي لَوْلَا دُعَاؤُكُمْ. In the tafsir, لَوْلَا عِبَادَتُكُمْ. Allah will not aid that person if it wasn't for their ibadah. Will not aid you, will not help you if it wasn't for their dua, meaning ibadah. It is ibadah that we go back to. The ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ibadah upon the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Without ta'weel, without going around explaining it according to our aql. But going back to the sunnah. And he belittles this way. Oh, they want to take us back to the ancient times. He belittles this way. What did the Salaf used to say? Imam Awza'i rahimahullah, عليك إيش بآثار السلف وإن رفضك الناس. Upon you is to hold on to the statements of the pious predecessors, even if the people were to abandon you. When abandon us, go. As-salama. Doesn't concern us. What concerns us is ittibā'. What concerns us is love of the best people ever to be. خَيْرُ النَّاسِ قَرْنِي ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ. We want to take you back? Yes, we want to take you back. Because that's where salvation lies. عَلَيْكَ بِالْأَمْرِ الْأَوَّلِ. And that is the atiq, the amr al-atiq. Yes. And that is loving the sunnah, loving the Quran, loving the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba. That is the Amr al-Awwal. That is believing in Allah correctly, believing in Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam correctly, believing in the angels correctly, believing in the messengers correctly, believing in the Day of Judgment correctly, believing in the Qadr correctly. Yes, didn't Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu say about those who deny the Qadr, tell them I have nothing to do with them and they have nothing to do with me. أَنَّنِي بُرَاءٌ مِّنْهُمْ وَأَنَّهُمْ بُرَاءٌ مِّنِّي أَنَّنِي بَرِيءٌ مِّنْهُمْ وَأَنَّهُمْ بُرَاءٌ مِّنِّي. Tell them that I have nothing to do with them and they have nothing to do with me. And it will not aid them if they were to give even gold the size of Uhud in charity. It will not benefit them until they believe in the Qadar. This is what it's about. It's about going back to the correct belief. It's about going back to believing the unseen. Unrestrictedly we believe in it. We don't know how, but we believe in it. That which Allah explained to us. That which Allah affirmed for us. That which the Messenger affirmed for us. You don't like that? Go your way. نُوَلِّهِ مَا تَوَلَّى وَنُصْلِهِ جَهَنَّمَ وَسَاءَتْ مَصِيرًا. For those who turn away, Allah is prepared for them the hellfire. May Allah protect us from that. We die upon that, Allah protect us. That's not what we want. We want salvation. وَمَنْ يُشَاقِقَ الرَّسُولَ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُ الْهُدَى وَيَتَّبِعْ غَيْرَ سَبِيلِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ نُوَلِّهِ مَا تَوَلَّى وَنُصْلِهِ جَهَنَّمَ وَسَاءَتْ مَصِيرًا. We don't want to follow the path of deviation. We want to follow the path where Allah said, أَنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطِ مُسْتَقِيمًا فَاتَّبِعُوهُ وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا السُّبُلَ فَتَفَرَّقَ بِكُمْ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ ذَلِكُمْ وَصَّاكُمْ بِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. This is what Allah advised you with, that you may be pious. Piety is not just you come and have a samosa in Ramadan and you share some, Jazakallah khair. You share samosa in Ramadan or cake in Ramadan. Jazakallah khair. But piety before that comes with your aqidah, your belief. Yes. Even non-Muslims, they have, they know how to queue, they share things and that, but that's not what piety is, first and foremost. Piety is your iman, followed up with righteous actions. That's why iman comes first. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Brotherhood is built upon what? It's built upon, first of all, worship of Allah. Allah said, كُونُوا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ إِخْوَانًا. He didn't say, كُونُوا إِخْوَانًا. Be brothers. He said, be worshippers of Allah. Then he said, brothers. كُونُوا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ إِخْوَانًا. Came afterwards. So, mashallah, you're brothers and you don't believe in Allah. What's the point of brotherhood then? Brotherhood has to have a basis, a unity upon the correct aqidah. Has to be based upon aqidah, based upon iman. So may Allah protect us from deviation. Hey wallah. None of us are safe. None of us are safe. Every day we have to check ourselves, and every day we have to ask Allah for His guidance to be on this blessed path. وَأَقُولُ قَالَ اللَّهُ جَلَّ جَلَالُهُ وَالْمُصْطَفَى الْهَادِي وَلَا أَتَأَوَّلُ. There's no other path but this path. The Quran and Sunnah ala fahm as-salaf. Quran and Sunnah ala fahm, in the understanding of the pious predecessors. There's no other path that will lead you to salvation. So many groups splitting up into parties and sects, and all of them are threatened with the fire. Which one is the saved one? من كان على مثل ما أنا عليه اليوم وأصحابي. Hadith Hasan للشواهد. Good chain due to the supporting narrations. من هم يا رسول الله? الجماعة. Who's the Jama'ah? The Jama'ah like the Sahaba. They were the Jama'ah at the time. So may Allah guide us and protect us and forgive us our shortcomings. Indeed, deviations are many, but the straight path is one. Jama'at are many, but the real Jama'ah that is upon the way Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that is the Jama'ah. Jama'atul Haqq, the Jama'ah al-Mansura, the Ta'ifat al-Mansura, the Firqatul Najiyah. Let the people say what they like and laugh and joke and insult with inflammatory words. Alhamdulillah, we didn't go down to that level. The deen of Allah is noble, is of high, calls you to high character, calls you to nobility, calls you to. So may Allah protect us. May Allah protect us and bring us salvation until we meet Him. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.